Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajwa and I'm super excited to be sharing Khamrah Qawah with you today. Personally, I've not been super excited about a lot of Lattafa's new releases with the Pride collection, for example. I've seen Ajwa, Affection Love. I think I have Raw Human, Vintage Radio, which I like. I like both of them, but I've not been super excited to pick the rest up. But as soon as I saw Aromatics introduce this to us, I was like, yes, I need this in my life. I love the OG Khamrah. It's one of my favorite fragrances from Lattafa. So as soon as I saw this one, I knew I had to have it. And I'm not disappointed. But a little backstory. When this one was advertised, I saw it on the Oud store. And then, of course, I ordered it. And I was anticipating getting my bottle last week or just a week ago. My bottle came. And it was the OG Khamrah. They sent me the OG Khamrah, and I was so disappointed because my anticipation level was so high. So I spoke to them, and they said they were going to exchange it for me, blah, blah. And thankfully, after one whole week, I have my Khamrah Qawah, thankfully. As you can see, the whole packaging, the bottle and everything is the same as the OG Khamrah, except that this one is brown, just to go with the whole coffee theme, that is what I believe, and it's a very beautiful presentation. So the notes in Khamrah Qawah are as follows. The top notes are cardamom, ginger, and cinnamon. Middle notes, praline, white flowers, candied fruit, and then at the base we have coffee, tonka, benzoin, vanilla, and max. Whereas in the OG Khamrah we have cinnamon, nutmeg, bergamot on top, date, praline, tuberose in the middle, vanilla, tonka, benzoin, amberwood, musk, and some woods, akigala wood at the base. So they differ slightly when it comes to the nose structure, with the OG having dates whilst this one has candied fruit. As soon as you spray Khamrah Qawah, you might be a little disappointed. You might just go like, it's the same as the OG Khamrah, if you don't really take your time to let it develop, because initial spray is almost the same as the OG Khamrah. You get the same date, praline, a little boozy nuance in this one. Although it doesn't have the note of cognac, you still get a little booziness, and even with the OG Khamrah, it's not as boozy as, let's say, Kismet Angel. So it maintains that sort of, the same OG Khamrah DNA with the apple pie nuance, the cinnamon, although this one doesn't have cinnamon, you get virtually every single thing that you get in the OG Khamrah in this one. But the addition of that ginger and the cardamom makes this one slightly spicier, just slightly, nothing too out there, slightly more warm spicy than the OG Khamrah, at least at the top. And then when it begins to settle down, with the first Khamrah, apparently it has some tuberose, but I really never paid attention to that. This one has some white flowers. It doesn't state categorically the exact white floral it has in it. But when it gets to the middle stages, getting to the dry down, you get that white floral nuance, not necessarily tuberose, but something white floral. And then the main new addition to this one, of course, is the coffee that you get from the beginning, the middle to the dry down. However, coffee might not necessarily be the first thing you smell as soon as you spray it. As soon as you spray it, you get the OG Khamrah DNA, everything, in the OG Khamrah. But as soon as it hits the skin, for me, I prefer this on skin than on paper. I tried it on paper, but it hits differently on skin. It develops much more better on skin. When it hits the skin, and then it begins to, just like a minute or two into it, that is when you begin to really get that coffee. The coffee is very prominent, especially at the base. Although you get it, you get it not faintly, but you still get it as soon as you spray. But the initial spray gives you 95% OG Khamrah, that is what it gives you. Then in the middle, you get that white floral, the praline comes through, dried fruit, it has that exact same sort of dates, although it doesn't categorically say it has dates in it. And then at the base you have the vanilla, the tonka, the benzoin, and all three sort of are in the same family. And then a little musk, but it's not like a heavy musky fragrance at all. That is not what it gives me. But the coffee, it's not so prominent. You know, the coffee here, it's not overdone and it's not also underdone. You know, that is how I can describe the coffee in this one. Let's say a fragrance like French coffee, which is like a straight up cappuccino scent with some milk, you know, or some whipped cream or some cream. You don't get that very pronounced or very dense rich coffee scent in this one. You know, the coffee is there, but because of the addition of the cardamom, the ginger, the white floral, you know, the composition of this one, it's like every ingredient or note is in the right proportion. You know, nothing overshadows the other. You know, nothing really overshadows the other. It's very well blended, I'll tell you, you know, very well blended. This is very premium, you know, although the DNA is quite, you know, it's been done before with the OG Khamrah. That addition of that coffee, you know, which is done so right, it's not overwhelming, it is not underwhelming, it is just right. You know, it is not like the main character, although, you know, it lingers throughout the life of the fragrance, but as soon as you spray, you're not hit with the heavy presence of coffee, you know. And the coffee in this one is like freshly brewed coffee without so much whipped cream, you know. It's not like a very creamy, very fluffy sort of, you know, coffee with some whipped cream. That is not what you get, or with some cream. That is not what you get. The coffee feels so seamless in this one, so smooth. It doesn't stand, you know, on its own as a coffee scent, but it blends beautifully with every other thing that this one is comprised of. You know, it doesn't come off as very creamy or that sort of coffee and cream, or, you know, coffee and latte sort of, you know, it doesn't come off too creamy as in, for example, French coffee. You know, you don't get that, but you get that beautiful vanilla tonka benzoin mix, you know, which makes it very resonant and thick, you know, and delicious. You know, it's a very gourmand scent, just like the predecessor, a very gourmand scent. I think the addition of coffee in this one was quite brilliant, because it sort of grounds this one, you know, and make it very unisex, unlike Khamrah, which a lot of people or some people have expressed feels a bit feminine to them. Coffee, for example, is quite unisex, unlike, let's say, chocolate, which can be a little feminine leaning, you know, because of how sweet and very noticeable it is. But coffee somehow has a very unisex appeal to me, or in my opinion, and that is what I find in Khamrah Qawah. This is very delectable, a very gourmand scent. If you have a sweet tooth, you are into gourmand scent, you're absolutely going to adore this one. To me, it doesn't have any Middle Eastern touch. There are no woods or woody, you know, background to it. I think the OG Khamrah has a gala wood, you know, in it, but it's even not as woody as, you know, a lot of Middle Eastern fragrances. This one doesn't have any sort of wood or oud in it. It is strictly comprised of gourmand, you know, gourmands like cardamom, cinnamon, tonka, vanilla, coffee, and just a hint of max, but that is not even noticeable. You know, if you even pay attention, you don't get any max in this one at all. If you found the OG Khamrah as too heavy for summertime, I think you're going to find the same, you know, for this one, because it maintains the same sort of DNA with it, with something much more spicier, much more aromatic, you know. But for me personally, to me, I'll wear it year round, you know, year round, because I mean, to me, it's a year round fragrance that can be worn any season, during the day, but more especially for evening or date night setting. You know, that is how I will consider Khamrah Qawah. So that is all I have for you for right now. Definitely I'll be bringing you updates about this one. I'll let it sit for a couple of days or weeks, you know, and definitely I'll be featuring it in so many other videos, because it deserves the hype that it is building up. You know, I foresee this one being hyped so much, because it's a great flanker to the OG Khamrah. If you love the OG Khamrah, then you can absolutely pick up the coffee version, which is Khamrah Qawah. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.